the papal conclave, both a sacred rite and an election campaign. Amid prayer, ceremony, and secret meetings, the College of Cardinals will decide where they want to take the Church after the controversial liberal reforms that marked Francis's papacy. There are 252 members of the College of Cardinals. Only 135, however, are younger than 80 and allowed to vote for the new pope. Of those 135 cardinals, 108 of them were appointed by Francis. But Vatican watchers like J.D. Flynn say that doesn't mean the college is stacked full of cardinals who think like Francis.
I make a living reading the tea leaves of the church, and I'd say there are more unknowns going into this than there are knowns. There's not a clear front runner.
Nearly half of the cardinals appointed by Francis are from the global south, places like Iran, Mongolia, and Myanmar. And they haven't spent much time in Rome with the other cardinals. Little is known about their ideological positions or how they'll vote once locked inside the Sistine Chapel.
But I guess that Francis was not looking to have a Francis conclave. He was looking to have a conclave that was somehow split. Because these people never met and they come from so different places.
How the college votes will be shaped by how it views Francis's papacy. Pope Francis often pushed for a more welcoming approach to gay and lesbian Catholics. If a person is gay and seeks God and has goodwill, asked the Pope in 2013, who am I to judge? He advocated for the rights of migrants and for women to play a bigger role in church life. But he also backtracked on many of these issues, causing confusion and disillusionment among the faithful.
After a fat pope, you need a thin one. And what they mean by that is in a time with, where a lot of things do get shaken up or where a lot of things change, there's something to kind of stability and letting things sort of mellow out afterwards and see what sticks.
That has led to speculation that the Vatican's top diplomat, the Italian Cardinal Pietro Parolin, could be a favorite to replace Francis.
We're looking for a stabilizer, a normalizer, and Parolin will be a normalizer, but without disrupting very much. There is no panic with Parolin. Some boredom, but it's okay.
Parolin is regarded by a lot of the cardinals as a guy who is a good manager of his own shop. He runs one of the largest departments in the Vatican, and he's regarded as running it efficiently. And what a lot of cardinals are looking for right now is stability.
It's also possible that after Francis, the college will be looking for a more orthodox conservative figure. This wing of the church successfully lobbied Francis to water down some of his progressive initiatives, a movement that was often led by African bishops like the Ghanaian Robert Sarah, who would become the first African pope since the 5th century.
He appeals to many conservatives throughout the church, essentially because of his staunch and unwavering defense of traditional positions, not only his support for the continuation of the Latin Mass, but his willingness to cede very little ground on the church's moral teachings around sexuality. He doesn't want the ordination of women. He has generally quite a conservative disposition on politics.
Here in North America and much of Europe, where church attendance has plummeted, many cardinals want to push ahead with the liberal reforms of Pope Francis. Do away with things like the Latin Mass and priestly celibacy. But arguably the most popular figure in the pro-Francis camp is the Filipino Cardinal Luis Tagle, often called the Asian Francis.
Tagle's appeal is largely because of his charisma. It's also because I think there are a lot of people who think, well, the church is growing all around the global south. It would look really good to have a pope who's not white, who comes from somewhere like Asia. Francis, of course, has made Asia really a kind of central pillar of his papacy. He traveled there more often than to any other part of the world.
Of the 5 Canadian cardinals, only 4 will take part in the conclave, with Cardinal Marc Ouellet having turned 80 last year. And unlike in the past 2 conclaves, when Ouellet was rumored to be a favorite, there are no Canadian cardinals among the leading contenders this time. But Toronto's new Archbishop, 53-year-old Frank Leo, has impressed many in Rome by blending youth outreach with traditional approach to doctrine.
If I should place a bet on a Canadian, I will place a bet on him. He has only one con. He's very young. But he's so young that, if it's not now, it can be other 2 conclaves from now.
The election of the new pope won't be decided by ideas alone. Vatican watchers caution that seemingly trivial considerations can play an outsized role in the conclave. As one of them told me, a bad joke at lunch can cost you 40 votes by supper. But top of mind for the cardinals will be how to secure the future of a 2,000-year-old institution weakened by scandals and secularization. To what extent will the next conclave be decided by, the need to grow the number of faithful?
I think if there is a dominant issue in the next conclave, it will be whether or not the church should pivot towards the global south, or whether it should try to recover ground in Western nations which have been shedding a Catholic faithful.
The challenge for the next pope will be trying to grow the church in one part of the world without suffocating it in another.